Hello everyone, Pratima here. So if there's one brand I really want to see do well, it's Honor. I don't know why, but I have a soft spot for the brand. I think it comes from the love that I had for Huawei when I started my YouTube career. Then the US ban happened, Honor got separated from Huawei, and since then Honor has actually been doing really well in China, Europe and Southeast Asian regions. This latest phone, the Honor X9D, had record-breaking pre-booking sales. I also have this phone with me, the Honor Power 2, and a lot of my fellow YouTubers have covered Honor's latest gaming phone, the Honor Win. All of these latest phones are really good mid-range phones, and even when it comes to foldables, I have really liked Honor's foldable phones in the past, from the Honor Magic V2, the V3 and the latest V5. And today I have Honor's latest flagship phone for 2026, the Honor Magic 8 Pro, that I have been testing for around a week now. Rohan over there has been daily driving this as his main phone for more than a month. So how close is Honor's flagship phone in competing with the likes of Oppo, Vivo or even the iPhone in 2026? The Honor Magic 8 Pro is slowly but surely catching up. It might not be on the same level as some of these other Chinese brands as of now, but it's almost there. Anyway, let's talk about this phone, and you can see the design here is pretty basic. It looks super similar to Oppo and Vivo phones, especially with this big camera module right here. Honor is using something called a nano crystal shield in the display, which they claim offers better drop resistance than competitors. And since the back panel here is made of good old plastic, I have dropped this phone multiple times and it has survived at all times. Likewise, there's also an AI button on the side which I can customize in the settings based on my use case, like it can be used as a camera control button or for AI memories. Okay, moving on to the front, the display experience here is superb. What's unique is that Honor is focusing a lot on eye protection. There's a dedicated section in the settings where I can toggle various eye care features like blue light filtering, dimming modes, and several other options that can help if you experience eye strain. And apart from that, the display quality itself is just beautiful. It's an OLED panel with all the HDR10 certification and even Dolby Vision support. The display gets very bright, and we can also get an ultrasonic in-display fingerprint sensor here that works really well. But what I found especially cool is the 3D face scanning system for face unlock, something you don't see on most Android phones. Now, if you don't use the fingerprint scanner, you can rely on the 3D face unlock, which is honestly very fast. And one thing that absolutely blew me away, and I don't know how Honor managed to do this, but this phone might have the best speakers I have ever heard on a smartphone. They sound fuller, louder, and clearer than even my iPhone 17 Pro Max. They're just insanely good.
All we'll ever trust, yeah. No, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go.
The vibration feedback here is also pretty good. So yeah, overall in terms of design, display, speakers and haptics, Honor gets full marks and A+ score. But the job is not done yet. For any smartphone in 2026 to truly stand out in the crowded market, it needs to pass two big tests. First, it needs to offer an excellent experience with the software and overall performance. And second, it needs a reliable and dependable camera system. And this is where the Honor Magic 8 Pro, in my opinion, surprises a lot of people. In the past, one thing I really didn't like about Honor phones was the software experience. But with the latest Magic OS 10, which is based on Android 16, Honor has really stepped up its game. It's very fast and fluid. The buttons and icons are placed well within reach. App opening and switching are quick and responsive, and RAM management is really good. Now, visually, it does feel heavily inspired by the liquid glass design we have seen on iOS 26, but the core implementation, be it in the UI visuals or the animations, it's very well done. So yeah, I think Magic OS 10 is the most improved UI of 2026. If I had to pick a runner-up, it would be Vivo with its switch from FunTouch OS to Origin OS, but for me, Magic OS wins in terms of the most improved UI. It almost feels like iOS and Android had a baby and Magic OS is the result. On top of that, Honor is also promising 7 years of OS updates, which is so much better than other Chinese flagships. Honor is also not far behind in terms of AI features as well. You get AI search, which works really well. There's also AI memory, which is similar to Mindspace on OnePlus phones. And then there is a knuckle gesture feature that lets you quickly capture a part of the screen or extract text from it. It's actually very, very usable in daily life. You also get a feature called deepfake detection, which during video calls can detect if content is AI generated or manipulated. And even in terms of hardware specs, we get the latest Snapdragon flagship chip here paired with one of the fastest LPDDR5X RAM along with UFS 4.1 storage. So performance is absolutely not an issue on this phone. Everything just feels extremely fast. Apps open quickly, the gaming performance is great, and the phone stays smooth all round. I have also never faced any heating issues with this phone, even when recording videos outdoors on a sunny day or being on long video calls. So yes, no complaints at all in the performance department. Battery life is also insanely good here. We get a massive 7100 mAh silicon carbon battery inside, and it easily lasted me a day and a half on regular use. If you watched my battery drain video, the Honor Magic 8 Pro actually performed very well. It finished third just behind the OnePlus 15 and the Oppo Find X9 Pro. Alright, let's talk about the cameras now, and if I had to rank the Honor Magic 8 Pro's camera system, I would give it a solid 9 out of 10. It's not quite at that perfect 10 like from Vivo, Xiaomi or the iPhone, but it's just one step behind them. It feels about a year behind the very best, but in my and Rohan's 1-month testing, we have captured so many great photos with this phone. The main 1x camera in the default vivid mode captures nice overall photos. The colors are a bit punchy, which makes the images pop and look pleasing to the eyes. The only thing I feel is slightly lacking here is fine detail. But overall, the images still look very, very good. The ultra-wide camera here is another highlight. This is actually the widest ultra-wide camera on any smartphone right now. It uses a 12mm focal length that's even wider than iPhone's 13mm lens. Most brands like Vivo, Oppo and Xiaomi usually have narrower 15mm or 16mm lenses, so it's really refreshing to see Honor go this wide. It lets you fit so much into the frame without needing to step back. As for the telephoto lens, Honor is using the fantastic Samsung's HP9 periscope sensor here, the same one we've seen on phones like the Vivo X200 Pro and the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, and we already know how capable this sensor is. Hence, I was able to capture some excellent zoom shots in every lighting condition. Portraits in particular look so good. The skin tone is so nice. It looks natural and pleasing. Just look at these photos of the street puppies. They look so good. And these photos of these random uncles I took while I was on a trek last week, aren't they amazing? And even when zooming into 10x or 20x, the AI processing does a bit of over sharpening, but overall the results are still quite impressive. Honor has also partnered with Studio Harcourt, and I tried several portrait filters. My favorite is definitely the black and white mode. As you can see, it produces some truly stunning portraits with a very classic and dramatic look. Night photography is another strong point of this phone. I was able to capture very good low light photos with the same vibrant and punchy look, and overall the nighttime performance on this phone is quite remarkable, I have to say. The selfies are pretty good too. Yes, if you zoom in, you might notice some artificial sharpening and minor artifacts, but overall the selfies are more than decent and very usable for social media. Okay, now the reason why this camera is not 10 on 10 is because there are a few things Honor could have improved here. First, the camera app itself feels a bit buggy at times. I noticed occasional lag while using it. And second, color consistency between the main ultra-wide and the telephoto cameras could have been better. And third, there are moments when exposure feels inconsistent. I had to retake a shot to get the result I wanted. The reliability could definitely improve. Also, the telephoto lens could be a bit faster compared to something like the Vivo X300 Pro, which locks focus and captures shots very quickly. Honor can feel a bit slower, especially with moving subjects, so you might miss the shot sometimes. And finally, the Magic 8 Pro's video performance is good, but I wouldn't call it like world class. You do get software details at times, especially when shooting against the sun, where it can struggle to retain highlights too. Even at night, the ultra-wide camera isn't that impressive for videos on a flagship phone. But overall, I have to say I really enjoyed using the Honor Magic 8 Pro. This is honestly one of the most improved flagship phones I have seen in recent years. If you go back to like 2018 or 2019, Huawei used to be the #1 camera phone brand, even dominating the DxO camera rankings, and I feel Honor definitely has that potential to reach that level again. They just need a bit more fine-tuning, more R&D, and a few more years to fully catch up with brands like Vivo and the iPhone. I think the main camera still needs improvement, and honestly, the solution could be as simple as using a better Sony sensor. Selfies could also use some refinement, especially when it comes to artifacts, and videography is another area that could step up. But looking at the software improvement this year, they've really done a good job. The speakers are excellent, the display is easily one of the best you can get, especially with all the eye care features, and the battery life is insanely good. In many areas, this phone is a solid A. However, right now, I probably won't recommend it over something from Vivo or the iPhone, since those are still a bit ahead. But for a company that had to rebuild itself after the Huawei ban, Honor is in a very promising place. I am actually really excited to see where they go in the next few years. Alright everyone, that was all for my full and very extensive review of the Honor Magic 8 Pro. What do you think about this phone? Please let me know in the comments, and while you're there, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Saying this, I'm Pratima Adhikari, and thank you so much for watching.